Hey guys, I'm Brian McCauley of the McCauley's Design Workshop, and today I'm going to show you how I built this extending trestle table. If you'd like to see how I built it, stick around. As with all projects, we have to start by milling up our lumber, so I'm cutting the stock to rough length. Here I'm using my bandsaw to cut some of the thicker material to its rough width. It's easier on a bandsaw than it is on the table saw. And now it's to the planer to thickness all the material. With the material roughly dimensioned, I can go ahead and start gluing up the main supports for the trestle legs. And with those in the clamps, I can glue up the tabletop. With the top dry and out of the clamps, I'll use my block plane to clean up any of the imperfections as a result of the glue up. And then we'll trim the table to its final width. Now we'll square up the legs and start cutting the stock for the rest of the base. With all the stock cut, it's time to glue again. And I'll use my jointer to square up the remaining portions of the trestle base. With those nice and square, I can cut the 45-degree angles on each end. With the first one cut, I'll use it as a template to mark out the other 7 of them. And we'll use the disc sander to round over the corners. And with everything cut to its final size, it's time to start putting things together. I'm using my domino for the joinery here. And now I'll sand the remaining parts of the trestle base. It's easier to sand them now as opposed to once it's all assembled because of the tight spaces. And I'll finish the assembly of the legs. We have to put on this plate at the bottom and then the feet. Next we'll start building the rail system for the extending portion of the table. I did another video on this, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description of this one. Essentially, it's a tongue and groove system that allows the breadboard ends to slide away from the tabletop, and you can insert some leaves. And here I am drilling pilot holes and attaching the slides to the tabletop itself. With the slides attached, I'll go ahead and put on the apron that goes around the table. And now we'll cut the breadboard ends to their final length and get them attached. The trestle base itself needs a stretcher to go between the two legs, and I didn't have a piece of stock long enough that I wanted to use, so I decided to join two pieces end to end and peg them with dowels. I also did a separate video on this, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description of this one as well. So here I'm marking out the joinery for the breadboard end and the leaf itself. And again, I used the domino to create the mortise and tenons that are used for that. With the joinery cut and everything fitting the way it should, we can attach the sliding rails to the breadboard ends. With the glue dry on the stretcher for the trestle base, we can go ahead and join the two legs together. I was aided in this again by the use of my domino. I'm using lag screws to attach the base of the table to the tabletop, and to do this I'm drilling holes through the upper portion of the legs, and I'm elongating them so that when the tabletop expands and contracts, it'll be able to do so freely within the elongated holes. And now it's time to prep the whole piece for stain and finish. So That means more sanding. And here I am joining the trestle table base to the tabletop for the first time. With everything assembled, we'll go ahead and do a test fit with the leaves, just to make sure everything fits properly now that it's all put together. And they do. Now that we know that everything is good to go, we can take it all apart again and apply the stain and the finish. This is dark walnut stain on oak. I ended up using a clear satin finish for the top coats. Now that the stain and finish are applied and they've dried, we can go ahead and wax up the rails for the slides. I use Minwax Furniture Paste Wax for this, and it ensures that they slide in and out very smoothly. And here are some photos of the finished product. Well, that's the extending trestle table. If you liked this build, please comment, like, and share with your friends. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.